Yeah, big welcome to you, my dear Virgo, and always a big welcome to all the other signs that felt like this constellation, Sun in Gemini, highlighting the Moon in Virgo, is speaking to them because this constellation exists only once a year. And today, the Moon this morning has moved into Virgo, and this is when I do the reading. I'm not doing the reading at any other moment than when I feel myself this constellation. So the Sun in Gemini, a mutable sign, and the Moon in Virgo, also a mutable sign, is speaking to us and will influence this whole reading here. Gemini The Lovers, for me, that's self-love. For me, that's when the conscious is looking down into the subconscious and the subconscious is looking up at the higher conscious. And the higher conscious is always looking down to both. And the triangle that is formed here, also depicted here in the mountain that's behind them, is speaking to us in a way that is clearly saying, love yourself. Don't love someone else until you really love yourself. Now, he is up in the mountain again. He is up here. And he decided he has learned whatever he had to learn. Now he went back up to the mountain. He stepped from the fool out into the world. And he is here shining a light to those that follow, that come after him. And here is the star, is the sun, is a star that he is holding up, the light that he has found within him and within his own consciousness. Now I'm doing this reading because I am creating my own tarot deck combined with yoga positions. And so for Gemini I have King Pigeon. And this triangle of conscious, subconscious, higher conscious, I want this to be felt through a pose, through an actual position that creates the arm, which is the body part for Gemini, and the hands are reaching into the feet, reaching down into the subconscious, which is Pisces. And it's also creating a triangle if I turn it and I look at this as a pointed triangle. And in the opening, in the reaching back to the feet, she's able to see the higher consciousness. She's able to realize something where the heart is getting opened through the feminine and the sexual is opened through the masculine, the snake that's coming down and the snakes that's going up, and then the people down here, right? Now for you, my dear Virgo, I created a very simple pose, but nevertheless, it's within that we feel this pose, which is mountain pose with the hands in Namaste, and you're facing yourself from the future and from the past in this present alignment of all the chakras. You back up on the mountain, you have that rainbow path, you come from already 0 to 9, and there is more. There's then 10 to 21. So the path continues in this cosmic egg that we grow up again and again. And the messenger here, Mercury, is the messenger of the gods, is bringing the stream of consciousness down. The court card that is connected to you is the Knight of Pentacles. If your birthday is between August 13 and September 11, then this is your court card. You're sitting here on your horse, very stable, very grounded, holding the pentagram, the coin, and seeing how everything is growing. The dark horse, the feminine horse. Sometimes you can also stay a little stuck, so make sure that you keep moving, make sure that you maybe now through Gemini become a little bit of a push. Now these 3 cards I did not pull. I use them as a demonstration because these are the most known tarot cards in the world, and so I pick them to demonstrate where's the sun, where's the moon, and which is your court card. Down below I have listed all the other court cards, so you can look if your date has a different date. I use 17 different tarot decks and oracle cards. As such, I can study them and see how they speak to each other, and I have, of course, a row that looks like it's the past, a row that is the present, a row that's the future. Nevertheless, for me, they're all right now here, and so I'm reading them like a path. And the first tarot that I have is the Visconti's Sforza Tarot. And interesting enough, I got these in this month where the sun is in the Lovers. And this is a big love story because the family Visconti had a daughter, the family Sforza had a son, and they married them, and that's usually a contract, right? A financial business contract between two rich families to secure the wealth. And of course, they had so much money, they were able to draw or paint 78 cards, and in all of the cards it's either him or her when there is a male or female figure. So a very strong story, goes back into the 15th century. Around 1450 these cards were created, and the first card that I picked, or kind of stayed when I picked up the whole stack, it stayed on the bottom on the table, and I realized that's the card that wants to be here. It's the Ace of Cups, a love, a very high spiritual love, connected through the number one, the one and only, the consciousness, the higher consciousness, the angel that is looking down, the dove that's up here. And interesting enough, even each stream that comes out here, it's dividing itself one more time, but then it's collected here in this one cup. And this stream, this duality is always coming out of the potential that this one dove has two wings. We have two arms, we have two legs, we have two eyes, we have two nostrils, we have the upper and the lower part of the mouth. We always have a duality in our body. And then, of course, we have one body with the right and left side. And so this is speaking very strongly to you that you are understanding that the emotions, the feelings, the intuitions, the creativity are speaking to you in a very profound way, to unite them constantly and to understand that the highest love is God. This is where Hafiz is talking about in his poems. He always speaks about the beloved, and nevertheless the beloved is then not a partner, it's actually God or creator or this higher consciousness. Then out of Oswald Wirth, Swiss mystic, French Swiss mystic, comes this card, L'Eremite. These are French cards, so I have German, French and English cards because I speak all three languages. And L'Eremite is here to speak to you directly and says, yes, combine always the two energies, the light and the wand, with the snake here on the bottom. Here there is no snake anymore, right? They took the snake out. They made the wand, out of the snake a wand. But here they left the snake. So it's coming back up, and he's looking one more time very closely at this Ace of Cups. And he's realizing something. He's like, okay, yes, I am turning around and begin the path of love. I am up here at the mountain again. I'm looking at everything that I've done, and all that is left is love. Now, the last reading was when Moon was in Virgo, and of course the Sun was in Taurus, arriving at your most vulnerable moment, which is to love yourself. And you see here the Nine of Pentacles and this beautiful circle in the center, and the number, the Moon Maiden, an energy that is clearly through the moon. You were inspired very strongly to really love yourself. And I mean, it's again, I'm very amazed how these cards even now connect to the last reading, and it's saying, yes, that's what's left. This self-love, a true self-love, which is of course getting highlighted through the Sun in Gemini. This self-love that you are, Moon, in your sign, living a love that is so strong, so powerful, so fulfilling that you don't need anything anymore. You don't need nothing. You're happy where you are at. And I can feel that, and that's why these were used in the Rose Cross order from Oswald Wirth and around 1887. And here comes the Hermetic Tarot, black and white, the Fool, and they were used in the order of the Golden Dawn. And out of this order comes Arthur Waite and Aleister Crowley, two very powerful men. And when you were part of an order back then, you had to study the tarot. You had to, as an initiation, create your own deck. And then, if they were really beautiful, they were used or published even. So the Fool is coming. The foolish man, the spirit of ether, where you up in the mountain, right? You are again within this bubble, within this egg. You are unified to grow with love and to begin a new journey. Even though there's a crocodile down here in the water, he has this quite strange creature here. He has the sun, which is up here in the same corner. He has the element of ether, the triangle, the flower that's growing here. I mean, it's like filled with symbolism. If I explain everything, then the reading goes way too long. And so comes now Arthur Waite, which comes out of this order. 1920 were these printed, and the Order of the Golden Dawn was formed 1888. They used these cards, so Arthur Waite was learning with these cards. And 1888 is 3 times the 8, is the power of the 3, or of the understanding in the Tree of Life, because I used chakra system combined with the Tree of Life, with the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And so the tree is Binah, the tree is the understanding, is the fertility, is the duplication, is that I am having now a third energy. And the 3 is the power chakra, to realize that the Earth star, 1888, the number 8 is the Earth star above us, is guiding and leading me. So here comes the Chariot, the success. So you have understood something, you are going forward, you are now turning away from looking into the past, and you're turning at us, and you're looking at us directly, and you're saying, now I follow this star, myself, I've understood something. He is the Chariot that is holding the Holy Grail. He is the only one that's saying, okay, in summer, the summer solstice, which is around June 21st, the longest day, the summer day, the success, the going out in nature, the continuation from 0 to 7, you are mastering, you are learning, you are now going outside again. And then comes Aleister Crowley, and here we have the 5 of coins and the 10 of coins. Now, this is very interesting because together that's 15 coins, and that's the number 6 connected to the lovers. 15 is also Capricorn, the devil, an attachment to a financial situation, attachment first of all through the 5. You are torturing yourself a little bit about how to financially be in between having no worth and having the worth of all of it. The 10. The 10 is a richness. The 10 is a richness that is speaking to you quite profoundly, attaching yourself to it because it's connected to the 15 when I count them together, attaching yourself to a financial success. And you gotta let go of that, because if you don't let go of that, this is gonna be very difficult to hold. So you gotta trust that the financial situation, and now this is Mercury in Taurus, and this is Mercury in Virgo. Taurus is completely different than Virgo. Taurus is fixed. Taurus is a fixed sign. Mercury is a sign that is mutable, that is adaptable. So money adapts itself to those people that know how to work with it the best. Here in this fixedness, you stuck within something that's not really giving you an energy, because the pentagram is pointing down. See that? It's not pointing up like here. It is pointing up, the point. So learn from this to let go, because then comes again another 7, the 7 of Swords. So you have a 7-7 portal framing in the 15 of coins. So this success, the success to go out and to realize that you have understood something, is again being challenged. And this challenge is just natural. Consciousness is not challenging us because it wants to challenge us. We challenge ourselves. We don't believe truly that we can have this, so we stay stuck with this. If you change your perspective, you can realize that you can get here. And of course, the 7 of Swords here is bringing a worthlessness, which is a little bit the same than this card. And it's very interesting because I was reading this card. This is Herman Handel. Aleister Crowley, they were printed 1969. And Herman Handel's card were printed 1985. So the 7-7 portal is speaking about how you can find your worthiness. And it's the only way how to find it is to bring the spiritual into your life, because you can see the faces, you can see these men in the stone without teeth. And it's really interesting when he spoke about how we lose our teeth, how we lose our self-worth, because teeth are about vitality, are about I can continue to eat because I can chew the food. And there is this connection to a society that only holds the money, the worth of the money in such a high regard that they lose the spiritual meaning that actually is why we're here as a human being, why we're here living with plants and living with animals. And so there's a very strong message coming through for you in regards of the amount of money that is here, in regards of this number 15, which is then a 6, which is either the devil or here the lovers. And you are then being challenged with another 7, and that 7 is the 7 of stones, Saturn in Taurus. So you have 3 times 7. So the success comes if you realize this, if you learn about this, if you put your heart into everything you do. You can passed through this and now have the financial success, because this is the 7 of Swords and this is the 7 of Stones. So now you have 22 stones. And the 22 stones is a very powerful number. It's the 22 major arcana. So there's 22 steps that you can take to full liberation. 15 and 7 is 22. 22 stones. So there's a lot of money. And to hold that money, do not drop into this kind of energy. You don't want that. Go and save the money, go and hold the money, go and see that you doing whatever you can do to support yourself, to protect yourself through the past. You hold the crop, right? You coming after, you hold the crop, and you know that that's the only way that you can be stable. So the 7 of coins is Saturn in Taurus. Like I said, Taurus is a fixed sign. Taurus is speaking about this doesn't then come to you anymore. This is just a message. This is Mercury in Taurus, which is just be careful. All the 5s are tests that test you. But you also have Mercury in Virgo, you also have this, you understand that. So don't become complacent, don't become like this boring, terrible old man that holding on to the money and creating war and making more money. Go and bring a new awareness into the 7 of coins. Start holding yourself responsible for everything that you do, and you can hold the energy. Then, of course, comes you and the first oracle card, which is here. My home is my castle, the number 39, which is then counted together a 12. And a 12 then becomes a 3. A 3 is the Empress. A 3 is speaking about you are your own empowered female or male. You have lived many lives. Now focus on this life. I'm going to put you down. Now focus on this life. And if I look at the birds, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds flying around here. And again, the 5 comes up here through this 5, right? So there's 5 birds in there. But it's the number 3 in here. So understand that the 5 can be let go. This test, let it go, like the birds fly off, and focus on something that makes you feel stable, makes you that feel like, yes, I have enough food for the winter. I have enough to survive. I have enough to be in this world. And even though comes Sun in Scorpio, the 6 of Cups, which is an emotional looking back at all the lives that you have lived. And maybe you were rich and you maybe had other things, and now you're a little bit nostalgic and looking down into the water. You're looking at your own reflection, and you're looking here into this one flower, and you remember how it was back then, how you did the things, not just in previous lives, but just even in this life, all the things that you already have witnessed. And this is your inner child remembering good times, times where you were with others and you had a good energy with others, and you remember that. Alberto Villoldo speaks then about the seer. So yes, you see within this water, still water, your own reflection. And your own reflection, you can see through the seer, the number 45. You can see that you are now have come to a place of realization, the 9, that you see the past and the past sees the future. Here you see the past and here you see the future. She's looking back and he is looking forward. Learn that, understand that, yeah, even though you had many lives, it continues. Learn that you always will look at yourself, that you always will arrive up in the mountain, and up in the mountain you have the sun, or the star, which is the sun, in your lantern, and you have the wand holding you together. Within you, you having this energy. And that's why you're able to see in the past and you're able to see into the future. And then, of course, comes fish, which is a water sign. And the fish is speaking to you about yeah, the emotions, the feelings, the subconscious. Like I said, the subconscious is looking up to the higher conscious. Fish are your feet, which Gemini is grabbing and opening himself up to his higher conscious. And the fish is restlessness, change of focus, or lost in the current. When in balance, it's adaptable and travels well. So you are being called to adapt, to not always go with the pack or go with the other fish. Go with your intuition, because you have the seer behind you. And look how beautiful. He has exactly the white, the red, and the black in his face. And here is black, white, and red. And now this is the waning moon. It's not the waxing, it's on the other side. So now the moon is waxing. So it's getting fuller and fuller. And of course here you gotta wait to let go and to swim your own way until the moon is again waning, letting go. You're letting go. When this is happening right now, you are filling yourself, but remember, when again letting go is asked for, then let go. Because you have the King of Wands and the 5 of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo. So again, you have Saturn as that part in you that knows stability, that knows that here you have to do whatever you have to do to secure your life, your stability. And of course you have the 5-5 portal through Mercury in Taurus, and here Saturn in Leo. So 5-5 speaking to you is saying, continue to work on yourself, continue to do things, don't wait, don't look, don't wait too long that things are growing. Make also a step. If you get too much into the mind, or you get stuck, or you feel like you following others, then start doing your own thing and start pushing yourself into a direction where you're going, always towards the light. Remember here, right, the 7 of Swords. Don't get stuck into this old way of being like the old man, and start pushing yourself into a new direction. Become or do something that makes you creative. Through creativity, we can release sometimes these energies. The last row then comes out of the Creativity Oracle. I have listed all the oracles below so you can have a look, and I have a picture at the end of the video, so you can also do your own reading. Now this is called partnership. Once you have decided to walk your path in partnership, you must put the relationship first. Number 24, which is a 6-6 portal. 3 times 6. 6, 6, 6, right? So the Gemini sun is highlighting, and you, the sun in Scorpio, is giving you an understanding. What do you want? Do you want something that was in the past, or do you want something that goes into the future, that goes into forward and you committed, or are you going back maybe where you're not so committed? Yes, kind of like just a hinge. So release this 6, because 3 times the 6 is then giving you the power of the third eye to envision something new. Don't get stuck here. Release and go forward and realize that this commitment into the partnership, then you put that partnership first. But then comes the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. Now, you already had 22 Pentacles. Exactly. Now you get another 9, and that is the number 31. 31 coins, which is then a number 4. You don't have another 4 here. You have a 4 in the 45, a 4 and a 5, which then creates the 9. This is stepping in, and you start realizing, well, I'm not sure if I want a relationship, because she's single. She knows what she wants. She's here. She holds that one bird of wisdom. And of course, here, the butterfly, the transformation that a relationship can bring you. But maybe there was something that makes you compete with the past, and you gotta provide now a new perspective, and you're not sure if you want to do that. Then comes again a 24. So you have a 24-24 portal, which is a 6-6 framing the 9. In the 9, you have now 9 portal. 3 times the 9, 9, 9, 9. The power to understand the completion that helps you to move forward and to change something. The 6, we have a 6, 6, 6, 6, 4 times the 6. The heart. Have the heart to see something, even though if things are pushed and things change and nothing stays stable and everything is always in fluctuation. At one point you want a relationship, and another point you don't want a relationship, and everything is shifting and changing all the time, and you have a hard time to make a decision. Because then comes the Hierophant, the number 5. Another 5, a solution that brings back the spiritual. So you have a 5 here, and you have this 5 here, 5, 5, 5. 3 times 5, you have the power to speak up, whatever it is you speak up about your self-worth, about who you truly are and how much you fought to become who you are now. And I'm gonna put this down, and now here you're gonna look out and you're gonna say, well, I do want to be independent, I do want to be single, but I also somehow want to be in a relationship. And to bring that through to a partner is something that you have to learn to do now. It's important, because then he can, create his life with you or without you. And you can say, yeah, I can handle that, I can live with that. Because if you dedicated to the spiritual the same way you are here, you're very much dedicated to a spiritual life. Now bring that dedication to a more earthiness, to a more groundedness, to the Hierophant that is sitting here on this rock right? Back also almost on a mountain, on this rock, and she's standing here and looking up at her. Very interesting, this reading. Wow, it's really cool. And of course, 2 cards came up also with this deck, the 7 of emotions. It's not easy. I'm going to put the Hierophant down. It's not easy to understand that then you have the 7 of you have the 7 as the Chariot. You have the 7 of coins, and you have no other 7. I'm just always like, where? And you have this 7, so you have 3 times the 7 to understand the pool of emotions. But if you have this, then this shouldn't really affect you. So the more you become stable, the more you become independent, the more you can realize that you don't need no one, and that you can always be successful, and you can always do your own thing. And the last card is now the number 64, which is a 10, which is a completion, which is then a completion into this 10. The 10, which is the Woodwife, an adaptability between being or wanting to be independent and wanting to be in a relationship. To realize that both is possible. You can be independent because you are independent, right? You have that power to be independent all the time. You don't have to declare it, just be it. And even though things change through a relationship, things are always a little like, okay, yes, I want, but I don't really want. And the emotions are sometimes confusing and, challenging. You know that you can adapt. You know that you can be this beautiful spirit that is connected to an earthiness, that is connected here and stands and is grounded, but also wants to be free, wants to be the 9, wants to be the completion. And so the 1010 portal is speaking about this financial independence can help you to ground yourself, because remember, here it didn't ground you. Here you felt like there's also a difficulty holding the money. And the Taurus energy, right, Mercury in Taurus, is helping you to bring that more down. So maybe you have a Taurus in your life, and of course you have here a Leo in your life, and you have a Cancer here in your life. These are people who are inspiring you. And remember, you always have the power now to begin your own life and be in the 10, the 1, and the 0. Wow. Cool reading. So I hope I see you in the next one, because then the Earth is turning in such a way that when we look in the sun, behind it we see the constellation Cancer. Cancer is here. So the success, the emotional success in how you're going to go through this is here. But also remember, do not fall into the prey of the money. Don't let money block you, hinder you, or make you get, stuck in a lifestyle that you maybe don't even want. Until then, thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.